overwhelmed by bills, English to calm your mind. The light above your desk flickers, casting long shadows across a stack of bills. Each envelope feels heavier than paper should, as if carrying the weight of unanswered questions, rent, utilities, debts you did not expect this month. You sit quietly, calculator in hand, whispering numbers that do not seem to add up. The room is silent, except for the hum of the refrigerator in the background. In that silence, your heart beats a little faster, and the thought repeats itself. How am I going to manage this? Before we go further, let me welcome you. You are watching Learn English Listening, a place where we walk together through real-life struggles, learning simple English phrases, and finding motivation to stay strong. Here, every video is not just about language, but also about giving you comfort and courage to keep moving forward. If you are between 25 and 40 years old, you probably know this feeling well. Workdays are long, but the paycheck feels short. Friends post pictures of vacations, weddings, and new houses, while you wonder how to cover the basics. The pressure is not just financial. It seeps into your sleep, your confidence, your conversations with family. But here is a gentle truth. You are not alone in this. Around the world, countless people face the same late-night math on their kitchen tables. And while we may not solve all financial problems in a single night, we can learn how to calm the mind, steady the heart, and take life step by step. Tell me something. Which city are you joining us from, and what hour is it there? I would love to know where you are listening, because sometimes simply sharing the moment reminds us we are part of a larger story. At the age of 25 to 40, life feels like a balancing act on a rope that stretches across an endless gap. On one side is your ambition, the dreams you once whispered to yourself late at night. On the other side are the realities of rent, health insurance, odd car payments, and unexpected bills that come like rain you did not forecast. Each step forward brings both hope and pressure, and sometimes the rope feels as if it will snap under your weight. Many people carry this quiet burden. You may have worked all week, only to see your paycheck disappear within hours. Credit card statements arrive with numbers that seem to mock you, bold and unforgiving. The comparison game makes it worse. Friends your age buy houses, travel to faraway beaches, post smiling pictures in new clothes. Meanwhile, you feel stuck, circling the same worries. There is also the hidden pressure of responsibility. A young parent sits at a kitchen table, dividing income between school fees, groceries, and the smallest chance of saving for tomorrow. Someone else covers the cost of a sick relative while still paying off student loans. Each choice feels unfair, yet necessary. And with every late-night calculation, self-doubt creeps in. The truth is, financial stress is not only about money. It attacks confidence, sleep, even relationships. You may find yourself short-tempered with loved ones or too exhausted to dream of anything better. But here is the first turning point. To name the struggle is to lessen its power. To admit, I am overwhelmed, is not weakness. It is courage. From that honesty comes the possibility of change. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt stuck in this same way? When bills or responsibilities seemed endless, and you wondered if there was any way forward? There is a hidden key in the middle of financial stress, though most people overlook it. The key is not in earning more right away, or in solving every number on a spreadsheet overnight. The key is in how you speak to yourself while walking through the storm. because the words you repeat can either tighten the rope around your chest or slowly release it. Think of the first phrase, one step at a time. When the mountain of bills seems impossible, this simple English phrase is a gentle reminder. You do not have to climb it all today. You only need to take the next step. Call the utility company, make one payment, set aside a small plan. Saying, one step at a time, gives your mind permission to focus on progress, not perfection. The second phrase is, it will pass. Every season of life has its storms, but storms do not last forever. The worry feels permanent when you are in it, but history shows otherwise. Maybe you remember a time when you feared you could not make rent, but somehow you managed. This phrase becomes a bridge to hope, a reminder that the current pressure is not eternal. Whispering, it will pass, tells your nervous system to breathe, to wait, to believe in change. And the third phrase, you're doing enough. In a culture that constantly shouts, work harder, earn more, achieve faster, this phrase is an anchor. You may not clear every debt today, but you are trying, showing up, caring for yourself and others. Sometimes doing enough simply means surviving the day with dignity. These are not just English phrases for study. They are tools for survival. They shape inner dialogue, soften harsh thoughts, and create mental space for solutions. If you carry them like stones in your pocket, you will always have something solid to hold when anxiety rises. And sometimes, just knowing you have a phrase ready is like carrying a small light through a long tunnel. It is not the end of the tunnel yet, but the glow reminds you that you are not completely lost. Picture a young man walking into a bank with sweat on his palms. For weeks, he has avoided opening letters, stacking envelopes like bricks against his courage. The debt feels like a monster waiting in silence. As he stands at the counter, his heartbeat pounds so loudly he wonders if the clerk can hear it. Yet in that fragile moment, he repeats to himself a phrase he has been practicing. One step at a time. The first step is not glamorous. He asks for a payment plan, his voice trembling. The clerk looks up, not with judgment, but with simple professionalism, and explains his options. That conversation does not erase the debt, but it unlocks something else, the realization that avoidance makes things worse, while small action brings a thread of relief. Later that evening, he sits at his kitchen table again. This time, instead of despair, he opens his notebook and writes down groceries, transportation, minimum payments, future goals. He hears the echo of another phrase, it will pass. Suddenly, the bills look less like a sentence and more like a season. He remembers past struggles, a job loss, a medical emergency, and how time carried him through. This reminder lights a candle in the dark room. By the end of the week, he tells himself, you're doing enough. The numbers are still challenging, but he has spoken with his creditors, cut unnecessary subscriptions, and even found part-time freelance work. For the first time in months, he feels air returning to his lungs. The financial storm is not gone, but he is standing in it with both feet planted. And in that moment, the victory is not about numbers. It is about reclaiming peace, about remembering that progress is measured not only in dollars, but also in the courage to keep going. Let me turn to you now. If you could change one habit this week, what would it be? Perhaps skipping one unnecessary expense, or choosing to face the bills instead of hiding them. Every habit changed is a step toward calm. Imagine your life as a garden. In this garden, the bills are like weeds. They grow quickly, they spread, and sometimes they block the view of the flowers you have planted. But here's the truth. Weeds may appear strong, Yet they do not define the entire garden. You still have roses, trees, and green spaces that make life worth living. Financial stress tries to convince you that everything is broken. But when you step back, you realize that hardship is only one part of the picture. Think of roots beneath the soil. Even during a storm, those roots hold steady, keeping the tree alive until the sun returns. In the same way, your values, your persistence, your kindness, your effort are deeper and stronger than any temporary burden of debt. When you whisper the phrase, "You're doing enough," it is like watering the soil, not the weeds. It helps the good things grow. And when you remind yourself, one step at a time, you are pulling out just one weed today, instead of staring at the whole field in despair. Slowly, the garden changes. So here is a gentle reframe. Bills are not proof that you are failing. They are proof that you are alive in a complex world, learning to manage what life gives you. They can be handled, reshaped, even negotiated. And while they challenge your patience, they cannot erase your worth. Let this image settle in your mind. You are the gardener, not the Swedes. You hold the tools, and with steady hands, you will see beauty grow again. Even if storms return tomorrow, the act of tending your garden today proves you still have choice, strength, and dignity. The weeds will not define your story. They are only interruptions, never the ending. And every small seed of patience and resilience you plant now will bloom into hope when the season changes. Tonight, as you fold the last bill back into its envelope, you stand at a quiet crossroad. On one path lies the familiar cycle: worry, avoidance, sleepless nights spent counting numbers instead of blessings. On the other path lies a slower, steadier walk, reminding yourself one step at a time, trusting that it will pass, and believing deep down that you're doing enough. The choice is not dramatic. It is not about winning the lottery or erasing debt overnight. It is about which voice you will listen to when fear grows loud. Will you allow stress to run the conversation in your mind? Or will you pause, breathe, and practice the phrases that give you strength? This is the crossroad moment. At this moment, you stand between being consumed by worry or choosing calm and steady growth. Which path will you take? Remember, language is not only for communication with others, it is also how you speak to yourself. Each phrase you practice is a seed of resilience, a reminder that growth is possible even in hard seasons. If this video gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who may need the same encouragement tonight. And subscribe to Learn English Listening to keep walking with us on this journey of English and self-growth. Together, we will not only learn new words, but also discover new ways to carry life with courage.